fellow bookworms to Dresden. My name is Whitney, and we are reading Death Mask by Jim Butcher. So this is the fifth book in the Dresden File series, and we just read the first half. This is the first part of this book. We read chapters 1 through 17, and yeah, we're gonna talk about this in just a second. Before I do, though, just want to remind everybody we do our book of the month discussions every Monday. And then we also do a weekly read every Wednesday. We do a throwback Thursday where I cover some of my favorites from childhood. And there's also several bonus videos that pop up here and there. So if you're not already, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and then give this video a like while you're at it. It really does help the channel. The more engagement there is, the more this channel will grow. So I hope you will definitely help me out with that. But yeah, Death Mask. So far, I'm not enjoying this one as much as the fourth book. So far, it's kind of been going backwards. Each book I'm enjoying a little bit more and a little bit more. This one has a lot that's going on in it. I'm going to kind of reference the back here, but he has to do a duel with the Red Court of Vampire Champions. He has professional hitmen from Johnny Marcone's camp, which are targeting him. There's a missing Shroud of Turin. There's a handless and headless corpse that the Chicago police need identifying. And then Susan's back in this book. So there is a lot that's happening. And I have a hard time following along in the best of times. And so there's a lot in trying to keep everything straight. So far it hasn't been too hard, but because there's so much going on, I'm not enjoying it quite as much as Summer Night. I would say I'm enjoying it better than the other three books, though, like the first three books, but it is a little bit below Summer Night for sure so far. But overall, still really enjoyable. Again, he's kind of building the scenes a lot better, the action scenes a lot better than he did like in the first set of books, which is what I liked about Summer Night. Like there was some depth to it, some substance there, which I really enjoyed, and I think he's doing the same thing with this book. One thing I did not like about Summer Night is in the beginning of each book, he kind of refreshes you on certain things, and it was kind of getting repetitive. And I felt like that in Summer Night because at that point, it's the fourth book. I've already heard this over and over and over. This is the fourth time I'm hearing it. He did it a lot better in this book. It wasn't quite so repetitive. Like, he still had that, snuck in that information, but he did it in a much better way, which I really appreciated because I was kind of getting bored of that. The first few chapters was just like over and over and over again. And so I do appreciate that for sure. And yeah, just overall, I'm enjoying it so far. We have some returning characters again. We have Michael's back, who was in the third book, Grave Peril, and Michael's family. There's also two other knights that are joining Michael. They kind of tie into the Shroud of Turin, which is a religious artifact. So of course you would have the Knights of the Cross involved in that. And so I really am enjoying that one. You have Susan back, and so we're learning, kind of more about her. It's kind of sad though, which I'm not gonna say more than that, but obviously she's still struggling, trying not to turn into a full blown vampire, and Harry, they can't really actually be together, and so that's kind of hard for Harry to stomach. And then there's a little scene that we kind of ended off with between the two of them. It wasn't the full end, but it was close towards where we broke the chapters up. But yeah, I think so far it's enjoyable. It's a little less action packed. There's still the action scenes, which are still really intense and fun, but not quite as much as like in the other books where it was just back to back to back to back. Like I said, he's building up more of the story instead of just jumping straight into the action, which again I absolutely love. But there's just a lot happening in this book, and he always ties everything together. So I'm gonna be really interested to see how everything ties together in this one, the Red Court with the Shroud of Turin and Johnny Marcone and everything. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. And I don't know, I'm excited to see how he pulls that off because you know they they seem so far apart, but I know he always manages to do that in the other books where they all kind of come together. I did mark one page here. I recently got some tabs so I can start marking things. And there was one line that I really, really liked, and I just wanted to share it with you. And so this one is one of the other knights of the cross, and they're talking to them. And so one of the knights is actually atheist, agnostic, like he's not like a man of faith like Michael. And his name is Sanya. And then there's also the other knight who's like an elderly guy. He's Asian and his name is Shiro. And so he's talking to Harry because Harry's just like like how can you be a knight of the cross but not be leave? Like I don't understand how this works. And so Shiro is talking to Harry after Sanya leaves, and he says, "Man sees faces, sees skin, flags, membership list, files." He took another large bite. They're eating sandwiches, and he says, "God sees hearts," and that's on page 90. And I just really like that because that's kind of what I believe. Like, it's not necessarily about the faith and such. It's about your heart. And I truly believe that. And so I really, really loved that that was in here and that they have a Knight of the Cross who is atheist and such. Like I absolutely love that. But yeah, so far pretty enjoyable. Like I said, it's kind of been hard trying to follow along the different lines of the story, but so far it hasn't been too difficult. Um, they're all kind of moving along together. So, really excited to see where it goes from here, how the duel goes, because Harry's kind of at a disadvantage there, but he always manages to pull it out. There's a prophecy regarding the shroud of Turin and Harry. And so that's going to be interesting to see how he kind of gets out of a prophecy. And then there's also the archive, which is a little girl, and I love that character. I absolutely love that character. And so I hope, she comes into play a lot more as well. And I think she might. I think that might be where they tie like the duel because she has to do with the duel. She's the emissary, I guess, for the duel, kind of a neutral emissary, and so she's not swayed by one side or the other. And so I'm really excited to see how she plays into the book more. And I think maybe that's how it ties, the duel to the Shroud of Turin and all the other stuff that's going on. Because that's the only thing that I see disconnect. I can see where everything else is kind of tying together, but I kind of see a disconnect there. And so I'm really excited to see how that kind of all ties in. And I want to see more of the archive. I think that character is so enjoyable. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the second half of the book. You can find my thoughts on the book as a whole next Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.